All right, we're recording.
Great. Thank you. Well, welcome again to the Taleo End User Support. My name is Sonia Mitchell. I'm the Director of Professional Services for Acuity Cloud Solutions, and I'm also joined by Ryan Ditzel, who's our Supervisor of Support and System Administration. So for our presentation today, we're going to go ahead and walk through what does end user support for Taleo mean. Why is it important to have a strong support model in place to support the software? What are some of the typical support model options available? And what are the challenges of supporting multiple product lines? And also, we're going to talk about, as part of your support model, it's important to gather feedback through that support model so that you can optimize your solution and evaluate your configurations. We're also going to talk about some of the questions you need to ask or some considerations you need to make when you're designing your support model for the different end user groups. And then we're going to go through a client showcase. We've had the privilege of working with one of our clients to facilitate external candidate support for them. And we're going to walk through kind of how we developed that solution, what some of the value proposition items were, and how we were able to deliver external candidate support for that client. So the first item is, who are the end users? Who do you need to support when you have implemented the Taleo product? Well, there's several different categories. First, you have your hiring managers. These would be system users who may have access to recruiting to open requisitions or manage candidates on requisitions. They may approve requisitions or offers. They could have onboarding tasks they need to complete for new hires, and they could also complete performance reviews. So they could interact with recruiting, they could interact with transitions or onboarding, they could interact with performance as an employee and then also as a manager doing performance reviews. Then there are recruiters, and these are system users who mainly interact with Taleo recruiting to open requisitions and manage candidates, create those offers and hire candidates, and also search candidates in the database. They may have onboarding tasks as well. The next set of end users that need support are employees. These are system users who access Taleo Performance to complete performance reviews, update their development goals. They could also do career passing. They could update their talent profile. And then there are your candidates. There are your internal candidates or your internal job seekers who access your internal career site and search for jobs and apply to jobs. And then there are your external candidates, which usually is a very large population, your external job seekers who are searching your external jobs on your external career site, applying to those jobs, and if they're going to be hired, completing onboarding tasks. So there's quite a few end user groups that need to be supported based on what you have implemented for Taleo. And some of the typical support activities that you might conduct in relation to these different end user groups is answering basic questions about the Taleo functionality, or facilitating or answering business process questions, troubleshooting any technical issues they may be having with the product, advising them on how to navigate the system and how to navigate the business processes, and helping those who might be stuck to move along in the process and to ensure that your business processes are being followed. And some of the communication channels that are available, and the most common actually being email and phone support. So for most end user groups, this is the method in which most clients have end users engage in support, either sending an email, whether it's to a centralized help desk, whether it's sending an email to a central email box or to a specific individual, or picking up the phone and calling the support personnel. The challenge is the amount of time it takes and the amount of resources it takes to support, especially when you're talking about multiple end user groups, whether it be those using recruiting like recruiters and hiring managers, all of your employees using performance, et cetera. Another potential communication channel is instant message or live chat. The challenge is in decentralized organizations, not all employees have access to instant message and live chat, and also most companies don't have a way to offer instant message or chat to candidates. As they're going through an application, most of the options are either a frequently asked questions link or sending an email to a centralized box to get support. So they don't get that real-time support because there just isn't a mechanism in place. Another challenge is it takes a significant amount of time to support instant message and live chat because those can come in at any time, and those resources need to be available to respond. And what's used sometimes in smaller organizations or organizations where they have limited number of offices is in-person support. And most end users aren't going to have access to an individual that they can go to and say, hey, I'm having a problem here, can you help me? And it does take a significant amount of time to support and would only be used probably by smaller organizations. And why is a strong support model important? And the main reason is end user adoption. It is critical to have end users adopt the software, the processes that have been put into place. The system is only as good as it's used. If the end users are frustrated, they're not going to comply with the business processes and not use the processes as they were designed. So by avoiding that frustration, by providing the support that they need, it's going to result in better use of the system and better compliance with your processes. And also from a candidate perspective, when you have a high level of support or access, they have a high level of access to support, it shows that the company is interested in and cares about their experience. And in many cases, those candidates are customers. And also, having a strong support model where you're gathering information and you have a way to catalog information and collect end-user feedback, it's going to help you optimize your solution and make those business processes better, more efficient, and easier for your end users to follow. And giving assistance in resolving issues, it's going to expedite your business processes. The more you can assist and educate, the better the end user's experience is going to be. Now, there are typical support model options that most clients use to provide support to end users, and I'm going to go through all of them here, but most clients use a combination or a blend of these different models depending on the end user population they're supporting. So one option is a centralized help desk where everyone submits incidents or tickets or calls into a centralized support desk. And a lot of clients use this method because they already have a help desk in place. So it's already a solution that's available. It's one place for all end users to go for help. The challenges of this is the centralized help desk support representatives are not typically knowledgeable about Taleo. They may have some training in some basic Taleo issues such as login issues, et cetera, but most of the time they're gathering information, they're forwarding it out to others, and that's usually the system administrator or to a super user, et cetera. And what this results in is a lot of back and forth between those resources and the individual who logged the ticket, and it just takes more time to resolve because it's got to come in, be assessed, and be pushed out. And also a centralized help desk may need additional headcount to address all the Taleo tickets, because when you look at all the different end user populations there are for who interface with the Taleo products, that could be a significant amount of tickets that could come in with questions, issues, things of that nature. So it could require more headcount. And ultimately over time, because these issues have to be forwarded out, the Taleo system administrator can become overwhelmed with the tickets and ultimately end up carrying the full burden and it being the major portion of their job just responding to tickets and questions. Another model is regional subject matter experts or super users. The benefits here, level 1 help is usually a person, if they're a super user or subject matter expert for a region, this person knows the business process. They're usually a user of the system as well, and they may know a little bit more than the average user of Taleo functionality and can answer more technical questions. Usually the super users are those individuals who are part of the implementation core team, so they help implement the solution, they understand the processes that were developed, and they have a deeper understanding of Taleo. The issue here is super users are not experts in Taleo, meaning they usually don't configure it, they don't design different features, so they do end up having to forward probably a good portion of those tickets to a system administrator who would have that higher level of expertise about the Taleo products in general. And so that, again, that results in kind of that back and forth, which takes longer to resolve the issue. Also, super users this is just a piece of their role. They have other full-time responsibilities, so they may not be able to respond as quickly as they may like because they have other responsibilities they have to tend to. And ultimately, Taleo system administrators, again, can become overwhelmed. They can be that resource that a lot of these tickets go to because the super user doesn't have the expertise to respond, so they, again, could become overwhelmed with tickets. Another option is to outsource end-user support or different aspects of it. The positives here, level 1 help is a person who knows Taleo. So when you outsource, you're outsourcing to a company who has Taleo expertise. Inquiries are resolved quickly and with little to no effort by the client. Most of that is always set up in advance. Often more communication channels are available than what might be in place today at the company. And it eliminates the need to add more headcount and is often less expensive than having full-time employees manage the support. Some of the cons, the company culture could be resistant to outsourcing based on past experiences, et cetera. And also, there might be a belief in the company that outsourcing might be cost prohibitive and that the perception that support provided is restricted in options and solutions. So, based on experience or past experience, they may not feel that there's enough options available for support solutions externally. And with supporting Taleo, the challenge is the multiple product lines. There are a lot of clients who have implemented recruiting, they've implemented transitions, they've implemented portions of performance, and that's a lot of features and a lot of functionality to support. And each Taleo product line has its own unique set of features. It all functions independently while it still interacts with the other product lines. And Taleo experts are often those with one or maybe even two products that they are subject matter experts in because of the amount of features and functionality available. So handling end-user support in-house can sometimes be expensive if you need to hire an expert in each of the product lines because one resource may be more advanced in recruiting while someone else is more advanced in performance. And part of your support model, or a big piece of it, is being able to take in information and optimize and evaluate your solution. And so it's important when you're thinking about your support model, asking yourself some questions and considering some things. Do you know how many candidates you lost this year because they couldn't complete the application? Do you have that information? Do you know how candidates actually feel about your application? Are you able to take in feedback and document that so that you can utilize it? Are your hiring managers skipping important business processes because they can't get Taleo to work right? Are recruiters spending too much time with the system tasks and because they're having issues navigating? And how many times have new hires not completed the onboarding process? These are questions you need to ask. Do we have this information? Do we know? And the support model, a good support model, will give you this information. By having insight into your support inquiries, you can understand the issues, and when you understand the issues, you can take action. And you can make your processes better. You can add information that might make it easier to navigate the system or explain things at areas where it's confusing or difficult for your end users. And when end users can easily navigate the system, your business processes are expedited, you become more efficient, and you achieve higher levels of process compliance. The goal ultimately when you're implementing solutions like this is to get standardized business processes. But if end users aren't following those business processes because they get hung up, they don't understand, they're skipping things because they don't understand why they have to do them, or the process is cumbersome, you're not getting a standardization. You're having everyone use the system in the way they can best navigate it. So it's very important to get that feedback and use it to optimize. So some of the things you need to consider when you're designing your support model, you need to look at each end user population based on what you have implemented, whether you're recruiting, transitions, performance, or combination. What are the end users you're trying to support? And for each group, how many communication channels do you want to offer or can you offer to that group? Is it in person, phone, chat, email? Where will you advertise the support for that group? Would it be on the external website, intranet, or inside the Taleo application itself? How many additional employees will you need or how many resources will you need to support that end user group with utilizing those methods? If, in your central help desk, will you need additional headcount? Do you need more than one system administrator? what are the Taleo skills of the employees you have? Do they know, are they experts in Taleo, recruiting, are they experts in performance, or both? And sometimes the best system administrators are not the best customer service representatives, so maybe they're not the right individual to offer support. Maybe the super user model is best. And do you know all the products needed to support your end users? Or do the system administrators, the individuals or resources supporting these end users, do they know all the products? And if you're outsourcing, what's your budget? And ultimately, what is the cost of not providing end user support? For example, if you're looking at external candidates, your end users' external candidates, maybe you don't have the headcount to allow them to contact the company directly because it would just be too much of a volume based on your candidate flow. So you have some mechanisms, some frequently asked questions on the website. You've put a lot of effort into providing a lot of verbiage on the career site to give a lot of explanation. However, even though you've implemented those, because they aren't able to go to anyone specific or send an email, et cetera, you're not getting a lot of feedback. So while you've put a lot of things in place, you may not have a lot of information to know, are those support model options, your frequently asked questions, the verbiage on your career site, is it really helping candidates get through the application flow? So now I'm going to go into a client showcase. We've had the privilege of working with Petco. Acuity provides we provide a number of end user support solutions, and we've had the pleasure of working with Petco to implement external candidate support for them. Petco implemented their solution, and they have a support model that's working very well for them for their manager end user population, for their recruiting end user population. Where they were becoming inundated with a volume of tickets was around their external candidate career site. They were getting a lot of external candidates. They push everyone to the centralized help desk, and that information is taken and they either respond or they push it out to system administrators or the appropriate individuals to handle the ticket. And while they were managing the hiring manager and the recruiter inquiries very well, they were overwhelmed with the external candidate tickets that were coming in based on their volume. And they realized that there definitely were some probably issues on the career site, but because of the amount they're receiving in the volume, they weren't able to collect and act on that. So they were really looking hard at how can we support external candidates better. Should we hire more people, or should we look at other options? So when we worked with them to develop a solution and also to show them what we could offer, they considered the value proposition of our services, and they determined that by funneling support requests to us, it would free up their system administrators who were dealing with a lot of the tickets that were being sent to the help desk. They could free up their company IT help desk that was getting inundated with calls and emails, and they could free up their field personnel because a lot of candidates were calling the stores if they were having issues with the online application, or they would go into the store, and so it was just a lot of volume and taking a lot of time. They realized they have access to experts, and Acuity is composed of Taleo experts who know answers to support questions for all products. And having access to experts saves Petco time in researching, testing, and digging for information, because the answer is right there. They also believed that they could enhance the user experience. They wanted to give their end users the support they needed. They wanted to give them access to immediate support while they were in their application. So we were able to offer one of our services, which is live chat along with ticket support. So they could get access to someone immediately while they were applying and get their issue resolved so they could complete their application. And they wanted to alleviate frustration. They were getting a lot of feedback about how frustrating it was because of certain issues. So they really wanted to alleviate that frustration. So what we ended up implementing, the services we ended up implementing for Petco was a website widget on their career site. We provided code that's embedded in their branding file for their career site to provide a tab Petco a support tab, Petco was able to provide the tab color, the verbiage that would match all their branding, and it is a tab that's always displayed and anchored on their career site. So when a candidate is going through the application process, they always see that support widget on their career site. And we're going to go through a demonstration of that a little bit later in the presentation. And when a candidate would click on the support tab, they would go into a Petco support portal to access knowledge-based topics, which you'll see in a minute. And all of that information is tagged as Petco in our support system, and also the issues are tagged. What type of issue is the candidate having, et cetera. So we were able to provide a lot of feedback to Petco. So when they click on the widget on the career site, the first thing they are asked is, what is your question? And so, for example, they forgot their password. And once they enter that information, the system is first going to provide them with a knowledge-based topic that they can click on that might give them the information they need right then and there in order to solve their issue and move forward in the application process. So if they clicked on the knowledge-based topic, forgot password, they would receive a more descriptive information about how they could correct their issue. And they have the ability to share that information via Twitter, LinkedIn, or Facebook. They could like the topic, which would make it a commonly used topic at the top of the list for other candidates as well. But if they reviewed it and it didn't really help them, they could close the tab, and then they could click on none of these are helpful, get in touch. Okay? And once they do that, and I'm getting some feedback. Could everyone put their phones on mute so that everyone can hear? Thank you. So if they click on none of these were helpful, none of the knowledge-based topics helped them, then they will get another screen where they could find someone to chat with or submit a support ticket. So if they clicked on find someone to chat with, there was an agent available who was not currently in a chat, then they could immediately have access to someone who could help them with their issue and help them move along in the application process. Or they could choose to submit a support request and enter a ticket. So if they enter a ticket, it's very simple. They put in some details, their name, their email address. They can even record a video of their screen. Let's say it's just too complicated of an issue for them to describe. They could record their screen to show what's happening, and that would be attached to the ticket for the service agent or support agent. And they could put a ticket type, is it a question, is it a problem, and what their priority level is. And once they entered their ticket and submitted it, they would get an email. And that email would either would allow them to respond to that email to update the ticket, or they could access the support portal themselves. So they could click on the link and they could create a login so they could access the Petco branded support portal that we created in the support system. Unlimited users, so as many candidates who want to access the portal can access the portal. There's no requirement for them to do so, but they have access if they would like it. And they can create their login using Twitter, Facebook, or their Google ID. And once the external candidate came into the portal, they would have access to all the frequently asked questions or knowledge topics. And it's always, the Petco portal is branded to Petco. They could browse the support forums by keyword, so they could get more information. They could, again, access all the knowledge-based topics should they choose. And all of the knowledge-based topics can be translated into different languages if needed. Also, they could open tickets from within the support portal. They can manage any of their open tickets, and they can view old tickets. Again, external candidates may not have a need to do this, but if this support portal was set up to support recruiters, and a recruiter had an old ticket that they had a question and they forgot the answer to that question and they were having the same issue, they could always log into the portal and see that past ticket and look up the response that they received. And again, in the portal, they can respond back to a ticket. They could record a screenshot and attach it to the ticket. They could attach an additional file and see all the history, and they could also close their ticket if they wanted to. Also, Petco system administrators have access to the support portal, and they can see all of the tickets for their company. They can have up to 3 administrators access the environment. And not only do they have access to all of the tickets, they can see how they're progressing, see what's coming in, but they also have access to reports that they can run. Another advantage that they found or they really enjoyed with the support solution was the direct email responses and direct from email replies available. So when a ticket is logged by a candidate, they receive an email. And when an agent, a support agent, updates the ticket with a response, they will receive another email alerting them, and with the response will be contained in that email. If the candidate wants to reply and update their ticket, they can just reply directly to the email, put the verbiage in the email, and send it, and it will automatically update their ticket. They don't have to log into the portal to update that ticket, so it's very convenient for the candidate. Also, all of the entire support system is mobile formatted, so you can access the portal from your mobile devices. You can respond to emails from your mobile devices and update tickets, etc. So it's all mobile formatted. And also, once an individual or candidate is in the support portal, and let's say they're responding to a ticket that there was a ticket update made by the support personnel. They logged into, the external candidate logged into the support portal and was reviewing the information. If they were concerned and they wanted to ask the support agent about the response, they could immediately live chat from there. They don't have to just access live chat from the career section support widget. They can access live chat from within the support portal as well. Also within the support portal, there will always be a full history of every chat, of every ticket, and also a full history of every phone call. We don't currently support phone issues or call-in support for Petco, but if we did, all of the conversations, all of the support calls would be recorded and would be available for each ticket that could be reviewed. So when we were setting up the service with Petco, we established the response time targets and support times for them. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern, we monitor all tickets and respond to all tickets and monitor chat. So candidates are able to access a live individual. Our initial response is to occur within 8 business hours. We aim for much less and have achieved much less. We're right now at 70 minutes for initial response. Full cycle ticket close time is 48 hours or less unless it's a software bug. So tickets are responded to once their initial response happens. 48 hours from that time, those are closed. Unless it's a software bug and we need to keep it open until that bug is fixed and is applied to the environment. And escalations to the company administrator or software vendor are on an as needed and or as requested basis. So based on the implementation went through with Petco, we received information on common issues and common responses, so we're able to handle, and plus with our knowledge of the environments and their processes, we're able to manage most of the issues. Only seldomly do we have to contact the company administrator for any specific questions that are outside the guidelines that they've established for us. And then if there are any major issues, with their permission, we can log an incident with Oracle Taleo if they're having any. Another advantage that Petco has realized is the amount of information they're getting about their processes through the support portal. We provide them with 10 standard reports every month, and they use those reports to optimize the software, to monitor our service, to view ticket statistics, what mechanisms are candidates choosing to leverage, what communication channels when they submit a ticket or have an issue. And there's, as you can see, there's a lot of different information that they can get out of the support portal. One example is average time to first reply. Over the course of the last 5 to 6 months that we've been working with Petco and managing their support for external candidates through common issues, through developing scripts, responses for common issues, through optimizing their solution and reducing their ticket volume, we've been able to greatly reduce the average time to first reply to 70 minutes. Also, they have access to information such as the communication channels that the candidates are leveraging to get support. So most candidates are using the support widget and submitting a ticket. So that's the feedback tab here. Then the next highest is chat. A lot of candidates are taking advantage of live chat to get support. Also, some are sending a direct email to the support portal, which creates a ticket. Some candidates do get through to their IT help desk periodically, and the IT help desk is able to send them an email address that they submit an email directly to, and that creates a ticket that we can manage. And then some candidates and even sometimes the Petco IT help desk will log into the support portal itself and use the support portal to create a ticket and use the web form and enter a ticket that way. So these are all the mechanisms that candidates are using to submit tickets and get support. And one of the big items, the big benefits that Petco has realized is our ability to optimize their solution. Based on the data we were gathering, the issues that were coming in, we were able to determine that there were 5 major issues, and we offered optimization solutions and configuration changes to affect those, because those 5 issues represented about 60% of the tickets that were being opened for Petco. And Petco decided to implement those changes, and we were able to reduce, as you can see over the last several months, we've reduced the amount of tickets by month by over half. And the optimizations lower the cost of their service because it means less level of effort to support their end users because there's a reduced amount of tickets coming in. So the optimizations have really helped and has really benefited the candidates because they've had a much more positive experience. So Petco was able to avoid hiring 3 new people for candidate support. They were going to hire 3 more individuals for their IT help desk because of the volume. They realized faster response times, and they were able to deliver because their IT help desk doesn't just support Taleo, it supports many other systems. They lowered the effort and ticket volumes via optimization, so they took advantage of the information and feedback that they were receiving so they could optimize. And the support information gathered gave them insight into their career section, into their issues, so they were able to take action. So they've realized a lot of benefits over the last 5 to 6 months. So right now I'm going to turn this over to Ryan, and he is going to walk through a demo of a candidate experience submitting, requesting live chat, and also submitting a support ticket.
Thank you, Sonia. Bear with me just a minute while I get that set up. Okay. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, thank you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you to Petco's career section just to give you an example of what the Acuity support looks like from the candidate's perspective. So, let's say I'm a candidate. I'm wanting to apply for a position here at Petco, and I misplaced my login and password. So what I'll do is I'll just click the support tab, which we also refer to as the widget. And it'll start out by asking me what my question or issue is. So since I've misplaced my login and password, I'll say forgot password. Excuse me. And the first thing Acuity Support does is locate a list of FAQs that can provide a solution to the candidate immediately. So, for example, the first one in the list looks like the same issue that I'm kind of running into, so I go ahead and click it, and that's going to open up a new tab. It'll present me with some instructions on how to possibly fix this issue. I'll read through them. If it does fix that issue, I can just simply close the tab and complete my application. If none of the FAQs solve the issue, I can continue by clicking on the None of These Are Helpful Get in Touch button. And that's going to present me with 2 options. So from here I can either live chat or I could submit a support request ticket. So the first thing I'll do is I'll go ahead and find someone to chat with. Put in my email address. And it's going to pre-populate my question with what I initially put in. So once I'm ready, I'll click the Begin Chat button, and that's going to open up the live chat screen. Excuse me. So I'm going to wait here until an agent is available Oh, there he is. Hey, hello. I forgot my password. Please reset. Then he's going to follow up with instructions on how to reset my password. So when I feel that we've come to a conclusion and we've figured out the issue, I can click the in-chat session. And what that does is when I click that, it records all of the chat history that we had and puts it into the ticket in the Acuity web portal. All right, so now I'm going to go back and I'll show you what it looks like to fill in a support ticket. Click next. None of these are helpful. Get in touch and submit a support request ticket. Again, it's going to pre-populate the question. I'll fill in details with the issue that I'm having. Please reset. Again, fill in my name, my email address, and if the issue is complex, the candidate does have the option to record a video of their screen here, and that will actually attach the video to the ticket so that the support rep can view it. They'll fill in the type, so this is a problem, and the priority, high priority. And when I click submit, the system sends an email to the candidate, attaches the ticket ID to that email, and the support rep's going to review it, and then he's going to follow up via email. Now the candidate can also go back to the web portal at any time and check for updates and also update those tickets as well. All right, that kind of concludes the demo. I'm going to kick it back to Sonia here. All right, Sonia.
Thank you. Share my monitor here. Launch the presentation. All right, so thank you, Ryan. And so basically, Acuity Cloud Solutions, we do provide support for Taleo products. The support channels that we're able to provide are ticket via direct mail, support portal or widget, live chat options, phone support options. We support all audiences for all solutions, all products, recruiters, hiring managers, employees, and your candidates. We have hosted widget solutions. We also do social media monitoring, and we have a lot of support reporting capabilities. So if you have any questions about this, you can visit us at our website or contact us directly with the email address below. But we don't just offer support services here at Acuity. We also offer consulting, project management, training, development, delivery, and remote system administration for the Taleo products as well. So please feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions. We have some time left for this presentation. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask them. And I will leave this slide up for a few minutes, so if you want to jot down the contact information or the website, you're welcome to do so. But I do appreciate your attendance and look forward to speaking with you.
Thank you, Sonia.
Thank you.
Ryan.
Thanks, everyone.